Okay, so let's talk about the biggest financial plot twist of 2026. You've probably seen the headlines. SpaceX and xAI are officially one company now. It's a $1.25 trillion empire. Yeah, trillion with a T. But here's the thing. If you listen to the official press releases, it's all about interplanetary intelligence and orbital data centers. It sounds like science fiction, right? Well, that's exactly what they want you to think. Welcome to Node Reports. Today we are going to talk about the strategic move that's shaking up both space and Silicon Valley. Because while everyone is looking at the rockets, the real action is happening in the spreadsheets. This merger isn't just about space, it's about survival, shielding, and one of the biggest IPO gambles in history. Let's break it down. First, we got to look at xAI. Back in 2024 and 2025, xAI was the shiny new toy. It was raising billions and everyone was hyped about Grok. But by late 2025, the vibe started to shift. See, there's this thing called the AI bubble. In October 2025, a survey showed that over 50% of big institutional investors, we're talking the people with the real money, thought AI stocks were in a massive bubble. They were worried that AI companies were overvalued and that a crash was coming. So what do you do if you're Elon Musk and you have a massive AI company that might be vulnerable to a market crash? You hide it. Or rather, you shield it. By merging xAI into SpaceX, xAI is no longer just a standalone AI startup. It's now part of the most successful aerospace company in history. If the AI bubble pops, xAI has the massive, stable revenue of Starlink and NASA contracts to keep it afloat. It's basically a financial bunker. But wait, it gets even more strategic. xAI wasn't exactly clean. It inherited about $12 billion in debt from the whole Twitter/X acquisition. That's a lot of baggage. This is why they used what's called a triangular merger. It's a fancy legal move that lets xAI stay a separate subsidiary under the SpaceX umbrella. This way, SpaceX's core assets are legally protected from those old debts. It's a way to integrate the tech without catching the financial virus that came with the X takeover. Genius? Maybe? Necessary? Definitely. Now, let's talk about the IPO. This is the big one. Rumor has it that SpaceX is planning to go public, meaning anyone can buy shares later this year. They're aiming to raise $50 billion. Think about it. SpaceX on its own is already valued at $800 billion. That's insane. But how do you push that valuation over the 1 trillion mark? You add AI. Investors are currently obsessed with AI. By merging the two, SpaceX isn't just a rocket company anymore. It's an AI integrated infrastructure titan. That sounds a lot more expensive to a Wall Street investor, doesn't it? It's about creating a narrative that justifies a $1 trillion plus valuation before they hit the stock market. It's the ultimate pre-IPO glow up. But what about the data centers in space idea? Elon's been saying that in 2 or 3 years, the most cost-effective way to generate AI compute will be in orbit. He's talking about 1 million satellites acting as space-based data centers using free solar power and the infinite cold of space for cooling. And look, is it possible? Technically, sure. SpaceX has the rockets to launch them, and Starlink has the network to connect them. But is that why they merged right now? Probably not. Setting up 1 million data center satellites is a massive, multi-decade project. The merger happened in weeks. The space data center story is the perfect visionary excuse to distract people from the fact that this is a defensive financial move. It gives investors a futuristic dream to buy into, while the lawyers and accountants are busy protecting the cash and boosting the stock price. So, what's the bottom line? The SpaceX-xAI merger is a masterclass in corporate chess. 1. It protects xAI from a potential AI market crash by anchoring it to a stable titan. 2. It cleans up the legal and debt mess from the X acquisition. And 3. It pumps the SpaceX valuation to legendary levels just in time for a massive $50 billion IPO. Space data centers might be the future, but the merger is all about the money, the timing, and the IPO. Anyway, that's the real story behind the $1 trillion rocket. What do you think? Is Elon a genius for shielding his bets, or is this all just one big financial smokescreen? Let me know in the comments, and I'll catch you up next time.